Tonight on the Night Team. Remembering the 3-year-old from Shelbyville who was found dead in a suitcase in Bullitt County at the hands of her parents.
Taking something bad and making it into a beautiful thing, making a positive out of a negative and trying to help others.
How her family is honoring her memory and standing up for other children who are abused. Plus, Kamala Harris and her running mate Tim Walz are campaigning in Nevada, while Trump's campaign says they were hacked, the latest in the 2024 campaign. And later, a Louisville nonprofit has been serving children in the Kentucky foster care system for 175 years.
175 years, it just goes to show you, just how much Louisville's come behind everybody to support this cause.
To celebrate the St. Joe's Picnic for Kids, we're hearing about the nearly 2 centuries worth of impact. The WHAS11 Night Team starts now. Thank you for joining us here on the Night Team. I'm Alex Dieterer. Tonight we start with the race for the White House. Vice President Kamala Harris and her running mate Minnesota Governor Tim Walz in Nevada tonight, finishing their tour through key battleground states. This as polls show a neck-and-neck race between Harris and Trump. But as ABC's Allison Cossack reports, Harris seems to be gaining ground in the key swing states.
Vice President Kamala Harris and her running mate Minnesota Governor Tim Walz wrapping up their blitz across the swing states with a rally in Las Vegas.
And so let's not pay too much attention to the polls because we have some hard work ahead of us. But we like hard work. Hard work is good work.
Harris with the first ever endorsement of the United Latin American Citizens, the oldest Latino civil rights organization. The two making their way north after rallying thousands in Glendale, Arizona. A new poll shows the vice president with a slight lead within the margin of error in 3 key battleground states, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, 1 week from the Democratic convention. Trump and Harris are expected to face off in person after both committed to participate in the ABC News presidential debate in September. Trump's running mate, J.D. Vance, responding to recent comments by the former president. Trump last week wouldn't say if the Ohio senator would be ready to serve on day one. Vance responding in an interview with ABC's Jonathan Karl.
Most people, 99% of the country, they don't vote on who the vice presidential nominee. They're voting for Donald Trump or for Kamala Harris, not for JD or Tim Walz, right? But what I think that he does believe, because he made it the main focus of his vetting process, is, do I think this person can be president on day one if, God forbid, something happens? Yes.
This as the Trump campaign claims they were victims of a hack by foreign sources, referencing a Microsoft report that in June, a group run by the Iranian intelligence unit sent a spear-phishing email to a high-ranking official of a presidential campaign. In its report, Microsoft said it's been tracking attempts from Russia, China, and Iran to interfere in the U.S. election. Allison Cossack, ABC News, New York.
And more on that hack. Trump's campaign is suggesting Iran is behind the hack, saying they were involved in stealing and distributing sensitive documents. Trump's campaign gave no specific evidence that Iran was involved. However, a campaign spokesperson said in part, quote, "The Iranians know that President Trump will stop their reign of terror just like he did in his first 4 years in the White House. Any media or news outlet reprinting documents or internal communications are doing the bidding of America's enemies and doing exactly what they want," end quote. Remembering Serenity McKenna, the 3-year-old from Shelbyville who died at the hands of her parents back in 2021. Today, her family honored her memory and celebrated what would have been her birthday by raising money for ECHO, the Exploited Children's Help Organization. Serenity McKenna was first reported missing in January of 2022 after her family hadn't heard from her. Police later discovered her body in a suitcase in Bullitt County and charged her mom and mom's boyfriend with murder. Her grandmother, Melody Roller, says the little girl was abused for some time before she died, but she doesn't think she recognized the signs of abuse. That's why they're teaming up with ECHO to raise awareness and money for the nonprofit dedicated to helping vulnerable children.
When it comes to abuse, it's somebody that's close and somebody you don't expect it to be.
Order to go for Sharon at the bar. Sharon, your order is ready.
It's very, very important for you to educate your children and love them, enjoy them, When they, when kids are kids, they're learning. Enjoy life through their eyes. Be patient.
Today's memorial ride started at noon and wound its way through Bullitt County, ending at Mike Linig's this afternoon. The proceeds collected from donations from today's ride are going towards preventing and reducing child abuse through education.
Just do some research and know the signs with kids, and not just with your own family members or your own children. Seeing children out at a park like what's here.
If you would like to make a donation to ECHO, you can find a link to do so on our website, WHAS11.com. A man is behind bars tonight for a deadly shooting in New Albany. New Albany police say they responded to a home on Village Drive around 5 this morning. When officers arrived, they found 25-year-old Caitlin Lee with gunshot wounds. She was taken to U of L Hospital, where she later died. LMPD arrested 25-year-old Joshua Thompson in connection to the shooting. He has been charged with murder. 6 people are displaced tonight following a house fire in New Albany. The New Albany Fire Union said units responded to a fire in a 2-story duplex on Scott Road just off Grant Line Road earlier today. The union says firefighters on scene found heavy fire in the attic space in the back of the building. Crews were able to bring the fire under control without any injuries. The Red Cross did tell WHAS11 they have a team helping 2 families, 6 people in total, with their immediate emergency needs. The fire is being investigated by the Indiana State Fire Marshal's Office. And new tonight, LMPD is asking for the public to help identify the people they say stole thousands of dollars from storage facilities in Bashford Manor. Police say security cameras at multiple facilities caught these people breaking in to people's storage lockers and stealing their personal items. According to police, the burglaries began the 1st of July and have continued up until last week. Police say they mainly hit facilities on Bardstown Road and Goldsmith Lane. If you have any information about these people, you're encouraged to call the anonymous tip line at 574-LMPD. And stunning video shows a plane plummeting from the sky before crashing into a suburban neighborhood in Brazil. Now investigators work to comb through the plane's voice and flight data to find out why the plane suddenly dropped. The head of Brazil's air accident investigation says the aircraft did not declare an emergency as it crashed, falling from the sky and killing all 62 people on board. The airline also says the flight took off without any restrictions and with all systems capable of carrying out the flight.
The cockpit voice recorder can, in many instances, give us the information on what was going on between the 2 crew members and what was happening to the airplane.
So far, crews recovered at least 26 bodies. To identify them all, they are relying on documents, seating charts, and cell phones recovered at the scene. Residents at Bashford Manor and community members who are experiencing homelessness were able to get free cleaning and repairs to wheelchairs, walkers, and other mobility equipment today. SOS International hosted the second in a series of 8 stops at the complex. The organization also partnered with Louisville Metro Animal Services to provide free pet microchipping and low-cost vaccinations for cats and dogs. Organizers say they're proud of the work they're doing in the community.
I know that a lot of times people that deal with mobility companies usually have issues after they've had their devices for some time. So we wanted to come in, clean up the devices, make sure they had batteries, and we're able to do that. I've seen a lot of happy people and a lot of grateful people for the services we were able to provide today. And that was the reason why we came.
The clinics are funded by a Quality of Life grant from the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation. A new ordinance passed by Metro Council will require the city to accept applications from people living in homeless shelters.
We know that there are people in our city who can't get housing because they can't get employed and can't get employed because they can't get housing. So this ordinance helps address that cycle.
The bill was championed by outgoing council member who you just heard from, Ja'Cory Arthur, and passed unanimously Thursday. Arthur says the bill will allow residents without a permanent address to get jobs with the city and its vendors. The new ordinance applies to vendors who contract services with the city if the value they provide is above $5,000. It also gives Metro government the power to terminate contracts for non-compliance. St. Joseph Children's Home celebrated 175 years today with the annual St. Joe's Picnic for the Kids. Fun for the whole family, all to support the nonprofit's mission of caring for children who have been removed from their homes because they have experienced severe abuse and neglect. WHAS 11 Night Team's Alexandra Goldberg and photojournalist Addie Hill were at the picnic and share the impact St. Joe's has had for nearly 2 centuries.
175 years. It's the St. Joseph Children's Home 175th anniversary, celebrated with the annual St. Joe's Picnic for the Kids.
So much money's been raised for the kids. That's why we're here.
The picnic is the biggest fundraiser of the year, with a goal to raise $1 million.
The number one part of it is the community and seeing that they get what we're doing.
Sponsors, vendors, and volunteers lined the St. Joe's campus on Frankfurt Ave. They give their time.
We have a water gun game, so everybody gets soaking wet.
And money.
Number one is to raise money. We raise money for a great cause, which then goes to the children.
And all of the proceeds go to the thousands of Kentucky children in the foster care system served by St. Joe's.
175 years, it just goes to show you, just how much Louisville's come behind everybody to support this cause.
And as the sun goes down, the spirits stay high. Thousands of people around me enjoying the vendors, and St. Joe's estimates that nearly 50,000 people will have visited by the end of the weekend.
It helps the children that might not have had as good a time as we had, and 26, and that, it's just a special place. I've seen them place a lot of children here.
Ken Kalin has volunteered for the picnic for 30 years.
43!
And Joe Drury has attended for 25. He says he brings the whole family out for the games, and his granddaughter says her favorite part is
winning prizes.
Susie Hillebrand of St. Joe says the money raised goes to special therapy, activities, and necessities for the over 200 kids they serve a week. She says since St. Joe's was formed in 1849, they've served over 75,000 children.
It's a long weekend for our team, but at the end of it, we run on that energy.
In Louisville, Alexandra Goldberg, WHAS 11 Night Team on your side.